man, I'm not getting worried. I love this. I'm serious. I love this, and I love that, man, it's doom and gloom outside our building, and we got 6 to go. We got an unbelievable opportunity, and I love it. I really do, man. So this is what we find out what we're made of. And really everybody in this league for that matter. You're talking about the month of December, and this is where there's teams that will begin to rise and teams that will fall out of this. And I love our team. I love where we're at, and I know the guys that we have in the locker room. I know these coaches, so this will be good.
That was Dan Campbell yesterday at the podium in Allen Park. Lions and New Orleans Saints in New Orleans this weekend. Lions are a 4-point favorite on the road this week. Bray, I don't want to say it's doom and gloom. It is certainly not doom and gloom from me, but I do believe if you're taking a 10,000-foot view at this football team, there are some real problems, and they need to correct them, and they need to correct them fast.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those situations where they're going to make the playoff this year. They're going to probably win the NFC North in my estimation, but then what happens once they get to the playoffs? We talked about the Chicago game. They have some really serious things to talk about. When they play playoff games, they lost to the Ravens. They lose to the Ravens. They lose to the Seahawks. When they play against the Chicago Bears, they didn't wake up until the fourth quarter, if you will, or the end of the first half, and then the end of the game. And you look at the Chargers game. Now you go back and look at that one. Yeah, they won. Chargers, you went on the road. It was a shootout, etc. Chargers aren't necessarily a very good team. We've seen a lot of teams hold these Charger teams down in points, and Justin Herbert played some of his worst football, and then you lose to the Green Bay Packers, a team that we blew out the first time we played, and we thought Jordan Love wasn't the answer. We thought the Green Bay Packers weren't going to do anything till next year, except Maz. Maz did say that before the season, and it looks like he may be kind of right. It's time to, like he says, that this is a team I understand. This is a team I know what they can do. Well, you know what? Now you got to show the fan base what you can do. Now you got to show the fan base off of a bad loss. Let's just call it what it was. It was a bad loss. It was at home on Thanksgiving. This is one of those ones that you really want to have just for the future moving forward and not be the same old Lions. Then the week before that, you almost lose to the Chicago Bears, a team that we've seen are a little bit better, but they're still not necessarily a ready team, and they shouldn't have even been close like that. So now what do? You're playing another team. And Derek Carr is the quarterback, and the New Orleans Saints, who
he stinks.
Thank you. So that's where we're going. A team that stinks the quarterback, whether it's Taysom Hill or whether it's Derek Carr. Then you have the Saints, a team that has played so inconsistent all year. Now they're tough to play at home, but at the same time, this is when you got to go down there and you got to get a win. Not just any type of win. You got to look the part. You got to clean some things up. I need to see once again. Here we are at another week talking about what, man? Getting to the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get to the quarterback. We got to shore up on the back end. Running up front. Let's call a spade a spade. That offensive line wasn't as dominant as they usually have been. They've been letting some people get through. They've been letting some sacks go through. We kind of noticed a little bit of that in the Raiders game, if you will. So some things that they got to fix, and I think this is a good opportunity to play a team on the road that probably could still win the division, that isn't nearly as good as you, that you can get back on track and show people, no, we're still good. Still the same Lions that you saw at 8-2. Still the same Lions that could have been the number 1 seed. Maybe still can. You don't know how it's going to play out. Show us something. This is one of those games where I think you got to show me something. Jared Goff, can't keep seeing these interceptions, man. Can't keep seeing them in crunch time. I got to get back to that Jared Goff that was taking care of the football, that the Lions placed their trust in. That's all. It's not jumping off, but we need you to clean some things up, and I need this game to be a game where after I watch it, I'm saying, okay, it's still the same team.
They had a hiccup last week. They didn't deserve the win. They didn't win. They turned the ball over in 2 games. What is it, 7 turnovers?
Yeah.
You can't win that way. Ryan said it yesterday. That's where it starts. And Dan Campbell went on the podium yesterday and talked about those very turnovers. Give it a listen.
Because to me, it's not what it appears to be. We just on the basic level of this, it's turnover ratio. It's turnover. And we're turning the ball over too much offensively. Special teams, we had one against Chicago. Giving up 4 against Chicago, 3 against Green Bay, and only gotten 1 back. That's the major issue right now. So we can talk about all these other things, but until we clean that up, the other parts of this are a little bit irrelevant. And honestly, they're not the big issues. So we can take care of the football.
There you have it. There you have it. Now you got to protect the quarterback because Jared Goff, as you could see, if he doesn't have the perfect pocket, you're getting the old Jared Goff that Sean McVay gave up on. Remember we said at the beginning of the year, hey, this guy's not fumbling anymore. Well, he's fumbling again. You can't have that. You got to run the ball down their throat. The Saints got a pretty good defense. This just in. Their offense is from hunger. They stink on offense. You stop Alvin Kamara, you should win this game. And you must win this game now because you gave away the Packer game. You've got to get back on track with this game. And if you believe Dan Campbell, what he just said, that, hey, we're fine, man. Outside noise, it don't bother us. Everyone's counting us out again. That's fine. Bring the noise. They're a 4-point favorite on the road. I think Vegas thinks they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they'll cover it on Sunday and get back to the winning ways.
Yeah, I think they're going to win as well, Maz. But at the same time, I'm not going to say I don't believe wholeheartedly that he believes that they're fine. Like, this is one of those things where it seeps in. You know, you lose one that you feel like you should have won. You look back at the game that you feel like you should have dominated and talking about the Bears and you didn't. Then you get to looking back at the Ravens and you're like, damn, we really got destroyed. I mean, we didn't even pinch the if you know Harlem Nights. There's a lot of situations where you're like starting to think, or you could think. That's why this game is so pivotal, because that thing, once it starts to seep into your mind, Ryan and Monty, once that seed is placed, once it's planted, if you have another one of those situations to follow up down here in Saints, man, it's like, damn, like, are we really what we thought they were? And I don't think that's going to happen. But you don't want it to seep in, so you want Dan Campbell, these guys, to get it going right now. Look, this is a game they very well should win. They should win handily. But isn't it one of those things, Ryan, where I wish the Jameson Williams situation was let's say the suspension as it relates to the gambling. Don't you wish that doesn't happen? Because now there's one of the situations where where's that playmaker? Where's that guy that can? Where's your A.J. Brown? Like, where's your guy? Where's your?
I think he's coming along.
No, he is. But I'm saying the delayed in the process. Like, I wish that didn't happen because now is one situation.
Well, last week Brady didn't have any time to get down the field.
Oh, this is true.
And then when he did get down the field and beat his guy by 20 yards, he's standing there wide open. Jared Goff didn't have time to get him the ball and underthrew him. So that is one aspect of it. But, guys, this is very simple, okay? You ready for this? Hold on. Stay there. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you can see that at all. It's on white.
There it is.
There we go. You know what that is? The Lions have turned the ball over 10 times in the last 4 weeks. They've only gotten 3 turnovers. You know what that is?
That's -7.
That is a -7 right there. That's a -7. You want to know why they lost last week? How they have been. Forget about the Ravens game, okay? Let's just throw that one under the bus. In the last month, in the last 4 weeks, the Lions have somehow won 3 of the 4 football games and are a -7 in the turnover battle.
That don't happen a lot.
So only good teams can survive that way. Only good teams can overcome that. And when you play a team that is somewhat close to 500 or somewhat good, you're going to get beat. And that's what happened last week against, you talk about all the time. Call them sins, self-inflicted negatives. And if they don't clean this up, man, it's going to be a short stay in the playoffs. Because they're going to get in. They're winning the division.
Yeah.
They're going to get 3 games back, 3 games ahead in the loss column. They're going to win the division. They're going to host a playoff game. But, my goodness, let's go here. Quick turning the ball over.
I asked Dan Miller this question last week. I simply asked him, I asked him, what did you think about the Lions with the Chicago game? Is it one of those things where you're like, I'm really worried about how they won that game? Or, you know what, as Maz, like, it's a really hard-fought game. It's a divisional game. You get that. It doesn't matter. You win it. He was like, it's a good divisional win. We'll take it and we'll figure it out at the next juncture. Well, you start to look back, Ryan and mine, like these games in which they're -7, if you will, look at the schedule, look at the wins versus look at the losses. Like now I'm getting to the more skeptical side of things. I'm not jumping off at all. I'm very much with this team. But I'm saying I want to ask those hard questions now because when they play teams that are better than the roster, like outside of the Ravens game, outside of Seahawks, who now don't even look the part anymore, outside of those 2 teams, there's a lot of teams that are under 500, a lot of teams that won't be in the playoff, and they're struggling against those teams to a certain extent. That's why I'm asking these hard questions now. That's why they got to have a good win down there in New Orleans so that we can kind of curve these questions and start to believe in this team like we did 3 weeks ago.